Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Yes, it's Daryl from Dixon. So y'all had a guest on the other day, and they asked, why the draft from 2025 was so much better than the previous drafts, and I think that's kind of an easy answer there. We had a first-round pick for a change. It was a high first-round pick, and then we flipped it for a second-round pick, and Barry's picked well when he's picked high. I mean, you can still say Jed Wills was a bad pick, but the first 2 years Jed Wills played, he wasn't bad. And then he got injured or something mentally happened to him, and then he just fell off a cliff. But you could say JOK was a bad pick if you want to say, well, he got hurt, now he ain't good anymore. Well, that's not Andrew Barry's fault. Andrew Barry picked in the second round JOK, in the second round he picked Grant Delpit. But you can't influence the injury part, and I'm certain that's part of what happened to Jed Wills was injuries. Y'all have a good day. Bye.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Quincy, again, the hot button is Andrew Barry's drafting. It isn't nearly as bad as the people who dislike him want you to believe it is, but there are, the Jed Wills one kind of sticks out because Tristan Wirfs went right behind him. That one is kind of a source. And the other thing you can say, hasn't drafted a wide receiver, hasn't drafted an offensive lineman, and had success in, we can throw quarterback, but this franchise has been trying to solve quarterback since '99.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly gaps in his resume. But first off, shout out to the caller. That was like the most reasonable voicemail I have heard on this show in quite some time. I want to shake your hand, caller. Let me shake your hand. Great call there from the caller. But yeah, there are certainly some holes there with Andrew Barry's resume. The question is, is it a lack of opportunity, or is it simply just a display of incompetence? I would say for his top 2 round history, all of those players, you can make the argument Jed Wills is a special case there. And look, Jed Wills is a weird one because everybody was telling us that was the guy who's going to be the next left tackle in this draft. Like Tristan Wirfs, people forget, was being evaluated as like a guard at that time. Like people didn't really know what to do with Tristan, but you had, Bill Callahan pounding the table for him, Joe Thomas pounding the table for Jed Wills. It wasn't like people who didn't know what they were talking about were pushing for Jed Wills at that point. But yeah, if you look at his first 2 rounds, you're looking at a lot of guys who got second contracts or became Pro Bowlers in the NFL or Pro Bowl alternates. And I think that's a mark of Andrew and this general managing crew being decent at their job is what do they do with their premium assets? And we're getting good results out of our first and second round picks at a much higher rate than what the franchise is used to. So that's where I think that there is a marker there for Andrew to say, hey, look, when he does have good picks, you're not getting duds most of the time. And everybody's going to draft one dud. Every great GM has a dud in the first, second round. But if you're looking at the overall body of work with Andrew, a lot of really good players that have been drafted first, second round.